Well, hello everyone. Today, I'm so glad you joined me. It's Deanna, your soul coach. So happy you're here. If you're here, you're the 1 to 2% of the population that are considered empaths, or you're 15 to 20% of the population that is highly sensitive. And today is a topic that I am so excited that you're going to learn about: empathy, burnout. Those of us that are empaths, or we are just super compassionate people, just rarely do hear about empathy burnout. What is it? So empathy burnout is also known as compassion exhaustion, and there's another term, and it's called vicarious trauma. Vicarious trauma is when you are the caregiver, or you are the nurturer, or you are in a helping profession where you're listening to others and their traumas, and at times it feels as if you have processed some of the things that they have been through. You vicariously have experienced some of their trauma by listening, by being around them through it. So it's going to be really important to know when you're in burnout. We're going to go over 5 ways to know you're in a burnout, and then we're going to go over the remedy. So 5 ways to avoid it. Okay, so here we go. So number 1, and knowing that you are in a burnout, or a burnout is coming, would be lack of energy. So number 1's lack of energy. Or you feel unmotivated. Normally you get up and you do your workout, you have your coffee or your green drink, and you're ready for the day, and you're really feeling sluggish. It's taking you a lot longer to get ready in the morning, and you're just trying to get dressed, and there could be a little bit of brain fog, or what do I wear, and just moving slower, feeling sluggish. You have lack of energy. That's number 1. So that would be a red flag to notice. Number 2 would be a decline in your compassion. So even though you are a very compassionate person, you begin to feel like your energy has been leaked out, and you just don't have as much. Like, you're noticing that you either are disassociating, or you're noticing that someone's telling you what they're going through, and in your mind you're just like, I don't care. And it's not that you don't care, you do, but you're on your way to a burnout. So be mindful. That's a red flag. Okay. And number 3 would be emotional exhaustion. So you could be crying a little bit more, you could be a little bit more irritated, you could get short-tempered with things, like, you went to the store, they forgot to give you the hot sauce with it, or sour cream, and you're like crying, or you're like, oh, nothing goes right. So you're having an overly over the top emotional experience over something that, of course, it's annoying because I love my sour cream and my hot sauce, but it's just, an overly emotional response to whatever is happening. And that's because you're getting ready for a burnout, or you are in it. Okay, so number 4 would be physical issues. Being physically just completely exhausted, where you have trouble getting out of bed. You could feel a little bit more sad, and that sadness could lead to aches and pains, and you could have some headaches, stomach issues. Maybe you're eating more to compensate from all the things that you've dealt with other people, or you're not hungry as much. You could have, like, your shoulders are really hurting, your neck, or your feet, your low back, you get sciatica, different things like that. So physical issues, digestive issues with food, and like I said, your mood could be off, which is affecting you physically, and of course Number 5 would be you're isolating more. You get invited to an event that you normally would want to go to. There's some market and you're like, ooh, I was excited. And then you're just like, I just can't, because you feel like your tank is on E, or like your phone battery, right? It's just not on. It's just like you don't have enough energy to really show up. You just isolate more. You just want to self-regulate. Maybe you're scrolling more, or just watching TV. You're just trying to regulate your emotions and yourself by isolating more. So that could be a sign of burnout. So what do we do about burnout if this is a thing? So next, what we're going to do is go over. Okay, so now we're going to go over 5 ways to avoid empathy burnout, or vicarious trauma, or compassion exhaustion. So number 1 would be take time to replenish your energy. What fills up your cup? You really need to put on the calendar whatever it is that is going to make you feel better, joyful, rejuvenated. So this is non-negotiable. So when people are like, oh, why do you need to get a massage once a month? Why do you need to go listen to the singing bowls twice this month? Or, can't you move this because I need you? No, these things are non-negotiable. It could even be something as simple as, getting your toes done. It's a you time. It's something for you. It's time where you replenish your energy. It could be just that you go to some workout and it's dancing and it's fun, and maybe there's a friend or a family member that's like, can't you skip that because I need this? No, because you don't want to go into empathy burnout. It's different if there's an emergency, but I'm talking about you have to put on your calendar and circle your me days, your spa days, if it's just sitting relaxing by a pool somewhere and reading, or if you're knitting something, whatever it is that's going to help you to avoid burnout. It is something that replenishes your soul. Okay, so that is number 1. This is non-negotiable. I'm saying that again because a lot of empaths, I notice, I'll say, when was the last time you took a day for yourself? And they're like, and they can't think of when they did. And then they end up with, going into a burnout where they're just like, I can't help anyone, or some kind of physical ailment symptom comes, and then of course then they can't really do anything. So to avoid that, you need to schedule your you time, fishing in a creek or whatever this is. And maybe journaling, maybe it's listening to some beautiful music and writing some music. Whatever is going to replenish your soul, this is non-negotiable, especially when you're an empath or a highly sensitive person. Number 2 to avoid burnout is observe. I'm sure you've heard this before, and not absorb. So this is a very difficult one. This is something I know, but there are times where it does feel like whatever somebody is going through something, like it feels like it's like right here within you. So you really need to ask yourself, is this mine to own? So if you're walking around and you're worried about your sister who is with someone that is not right for them, and you're constantly worried about it, instead of saying, okay, like, sis, I'm here for you, you give your opinion on it, but it's her life to live, right? What I do is I see angels and guides, please go help them, because sometimes it's just bigger than you. And if you're constantly thinking about the people in your life and their problems, is that yours to own? That's hers to own. That doesn't mean you don't have compassion for her, or let's say your uncle is in the hospital and that's all you're thinking about. Well, if you're giving all of your energy over to your uncle, part of this is part of his journey. I'm sorry he's in the hospital, he's dealing with whatever. But to avoid burnout, you need to cut that. You need to see the angels helping him at the hospital. You visit when you can, and then you need to bring your energy back to you. That's not being selfish. That is avoiding burnout. So observing what people are going through, or if you see someone is making some wrong decisions, or they're going through something tough, it's okay to say, well, I'm sorry you're going through that. And if there is it for you to do, is it for you to even get involved in? Sometimes as empaths, we feel for every single person, soul, animal, and some of the things and people, it's just not for us to do. So I really do believe you need to use discernment and ask, is this mine? And if it's not, you need to give it back to that person. It doesn't mean that you're not there for them in emergency situations, but you have your own stuff to deal with and you need to avoid burnout. Number 3 is having a sense of awareness. So you know yourself. You know when you're starting to get burnt out. And if you don't, go back to the 5 red flags basically that I just talked about in this video. But for me, I know I'm starting to get irritated. So I'm starting to get irritated over little things, and that's because, and then I'll go, wow, when was my last massage, or when was the last time I went and did something like go to the beach, where it just makes me feel like I'm clearing the energy of anything that I might have absorbed or was around me. Like it just feels like it totally leaves my body when I'm near the beach. So when was the last time I went? I like to go hiking sometimes and look at beautiful waterfalls, because it takes me out of all the world's troubles and the things around that are going on around, and I'm just noticing something so beautiful in nature. So having an awareness when I'm starting to get irritated by little things, like that say, oh, the dishwasher isn't working right, and I'm like, and then, or just every little thing, like, oh, the batteries in my remote died, and I'm like, I just getting like more frustrated. Then I know I'm gonna look back on the calendar and go, oh, you know what? I skipped my self-care day. I'm telling everybody to do their self-care day, and I skipped it. So, and then that's gonna remind you not to skip it, because look, now you're irritated, and now you're gonna need to do some self-care ASAP. So having awareness of, for you, maybe you're just noticing you're just get more tired. You're like, I don't know, I'm just like, I'm just feel tired all the time. Of course you want to check with a doctor, like your vitamin D levels and stuff like that, B12. But if all of those are good and you're just like unexplainably getting tired all the time, you're like, or you always need a nap, you might want to check to see when was the last time you had a self-care day. So have an awareness that of where you're starting to head. Or are you like, I don't even feel like eating, I don't feel like cooking, like you're just getting exhausted, then you need more self-care. You need to book it ASAP, or do something that's going to rejuvenate just you. Okay, so number 4 would be that you need stronger boundaries. So if there are a lot of people in your life that you help, it could be your parents, it could be your kids, your friends, or you have a helping profession, or even when you're dealing with other people a lot, and they seem to just tell you their problems, or they just feel comfortable around you, then you need to make sure that you have a strong boundary. So strong boundaries in place where when you're taking your me day, that you don't answer the phone, of course, unless it's an emergency. So don't be distracted. Have a strong boundary, and then you can get back to that person later. I was taking a me day, and you're teaching them. And when I take my B days, I don't answer my phone. I need a break sometimes. So I'm not an on-call doctor. And if you are, man, you definitely need some more self-care. So strong boundary. There are people out there that would want to push your boundaries, overstep their boundaries because they don't have any boundaries themselves, or that's just how they were raised, like they just barrel in whenever they feel like it. Well, you have to teach them that you don't accept that. You have strong boundaries, and that you're not always on, as they say. Like, okay, I have time to listen to you and your needs, but I have my own as well. So that would be really important. And then number 5 would be find a trusted therapist, mentor, guide, life coach, spiritual coach. So I find it really helpful to have someone in your corner that's on your team that you can discuss things with, like, hey, I've noticed that I've been getting a lot of headaches, and then your therapy, your coach could say, hey, when was the last time you did something? You told me you were going to go to some concerts this summer. What happened? Oh, well, I had to be there for everybody. I had to do this and this. Okay, so when was the last time you did something fun for you? Oh my God, it's been 4 months. Well, that's a long time, especially when you're a caregiver, taker, empath in this world. Do something fun. Go look up the local music if you can't go to a big, large music festival, and find some kind of music where that's going to help you just to feel like you're joyful and rejuvenated again. So find someone, a trusted therapist, like I said, spiritual guide. Of course, I'm a soul coach. You could always reach out to me for one-on-one. So those are the 5 ways to avoid empath burnout. I hope that you learned something today and enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed bringing this information to you, and have a wonderful day.